Massive action, guys. Morning. Going into January, we're going to transition to share more leadership development skills. And it's going to be good going into January. Some good stuff. But today, I want to ask you if you've ever been in a position where you really fear going ahead. Like you fear, the what ifs. All right, you feel the what ifs. I want to do this, but what if this happens? I want to do this, but what if this happens? And what about this? And what if this? And what if this? And pretty soon, it's first it's fear, and then it's procrastination, and then it pretty much gets forgotten about because you procrastinated about it, and procrastination happens. Like it's nothing to be ashamed about. It happens to everybody. The thing is, like, how do we identify it, and how do we overcome it whenever it does happen? And so I'm going to share a couple of things that I feel will be very beneficial, especially if you're in a leadership position, or if you're leading any kind of team, or if you're just like leading yourself. Because I mean, one of the number one keys to the science of a millionaire is self-mastery. And I'm gonna have some stuff coming out on that. The science of a millionaire. And it's gonna break down a bunch of different things inside there that are gonna help you understand the science and the mindset of what it takes to be at that level. But today we're talking about like the gap, right? The gap. Whenever you might have a vision, you might have an idea, you might have some dreams, and it's just the gap. It's just the gap from where you're at currently, and like where you want to be. That gap right there is what causes the fear. It causes the anxiety. It causes the procrastination. And if we allow that to kind of sink in and grow, it's gonna kill it. It's gonna kill our dreams. It's almost like having a bed of fruit, and you're allowing the weeds to kind of come in. You're allowing bugs to come in, and you don't really do anything about the bugs. You kind of just let them be, and pretty soon they overcome the garden. It's the same thing with your thoughts and your dreams and your vision and your goals. Like if we allow those bugs and those weeds to kind of develop, they're gonna eventually take over the garden. They're gonna eventually take over the mind. And so I guess I want to challenge you today on how do we kind of step into that gap, and what it really takes a commitment to yourself. It almost comes down to how much you believe in yourself. And if you've suffered from like self-confidence in the past, like that's something hard that you have to kind of like build up. But like I said, the gap is where you get your strength from. The more you can step into that unknown area of where you want to be at, is when growth starts to happen. Is when really like your mental mind and your mindset starts to develop, because you're exploring. It's almost like if you discover a new path, and you're not sure, like the path is going to get you to where you need to go. You're just not sure which path to take, but you're going to kind of start to create your own path. And as you go on that path, as you go on that journey, like you will develop, because as you go on this journey, as you go to get to your destination, along that journey, you're gonna need different skills. You're gonna need different, you know, mindset. You're gonna have to shift to different mindsets, and you're gonna develop that as you go into that space. And the thing is, like we don't. I was reading a study yesterday, and it says that average Americans, average people, are using 5% to 1% of their potential. They're just using 1% of their mental capacity. Think about that. Like if you get stuck in that, like with fear and procrastination, you're just gonna use 1% of your mental power. Like, think about that. That's crazy. Like, do you, I mean, ask yourself, like, seriously ask yourself, do I want to live the rest of my life not, maximizing or not discovering my full potential? Because currently I'm not using all of it. So think about that. That's hard facts. That's big facts. This is a big facts video. 5% to 1%. Should I remember I was at the 1%? I was at 1%. Looking back, I had limited thinking. I had limited imagination. I wasn't clear on a vision. I was just going through the motion. I was going through the routine. I was like, oh well, this is the way it happens. This is what life gives us. This is the way it works. But that's not true. Like, as soon as I start to understand self-mastery, I said, you know what, like, everything is cause and effect. If I don't want this, effect, I need to do a different action. I need to do something different. And so it made me look at my actions. It made me look at my thinking. It made me look at everything to adjust, because I wanted to go into that space, that middle space, from where I was at to where I want to be. And it took me stepping into that space to discover all these other things. And I guarantee you, like, whenever you go into this space of discovery, you're gonna meet people. You're gonna come across information, because you all heard the kind of the term, or the law, right? The law of attraction. Law of attraction works whenever you're seeking something forward. Law of attraction works whenever you're seeking something forward, because you're in a learner mindset, and you're observing, you're taking everything in, and you're it's almost like, check this out. Okay, look. This is gonna be the example. Whenever you step into what you're called to do, whenever you step into what you really desire, what your ambition, your conscience, or whatever's calling you to move forwards, you're 100 times more alert to your environment. And so, because you're more alert to your environment, you pick up on things, you pick up on people, you pick up on information, versus you being complacent. Because when you're complacent, you're comfortable. You're warm, and you're like hot showers, and you're eating, fat meals, and you're complacent. Like, you're comfortable. You're in a box. Like, you're living in a box. And so whenever you live in a box, this is crazy, but whenever you live in a box, you almost develop a judger mindset. Think about that. Whenever you live in a box, you develop this judger mindset. And what that is like you're in your box, but you're judging everything outside of your box. But whenever you step out of that box and go seek what you really desire, you're not in your box anymore. So now you switch from a judger mindset to a learner mindset because you're in a different environment. So you're picking up on things, you're learning, you're asking questions. Man, I tell you what, we have this tool that I want to give you for free. It's no like catch or nothing like that. It's just mental mapping. You can call it mind dumping. You can call it just whatever you want to call it. You know, you need to put your thoughts and your vision and your strategies and your plans on paper. I'm gonna give you a mental map paper sheet, PDF form. You can download it. You can print it as much as you want. It's a blank sheet, but the way it's grafted out, you can mental map on it, and you can print 10 of these, and you can just mental map on it. And the purpose of this sheet is to really, it says massive action on top. It's really just a mental trigger to remind you, hey, we got to map out today. We got to map something out. Let's come up with the strategies. Let's figure out how we're going to get to our destination. Let's figure out who we need to meet. Let's figure out what tools we're going to need. Let's figure out what kind of environment we might expect. And just, you don't have to get 100% clear on your vision, but once you start to move forward, clarity will come. It will come, man. Hey guys, massive action. Y'all have a good week. Get the PDF. I'm going to put it down below. And enjoy.